let's look at how to navigate in Fusion 360. Here we go, I've got 11 ways to navigate around Fusion 360. The first thing I want to show you is the mouse. If you drag left to right with the mouse, you get this orange crossing. Right to left, you get that yellow crossing. But nothing really happens with the left mouse button as far as navigation. With the right one, well, you get this interesting thing going on here, but we won't worry about that right now. There's also that right mouse button menu, which is something we'll come to later on. But for navigating, it's all about the middle mouse button. So when you hold down the middle mouse button, that is the scroll wheel on your Windows mouse, you can rotate around the view and you can see the reference plane moving. Let it go and you're back to the normal. Then you scroll the mouse button and you notice that it goes away and comes back towards you. Alright, now first of all what we might do is make a sketch, and we'll make a rectangle of some kind. Then let's create a solid, just like I showed you in the last video. No particular size, that'll do just fine for what we want. So now we can use that to look at and to navigate around. Alrighty, so that's the mouse. The next thing is the view cube. Up here in the right hand top right hand corner of the mouse, of the window, you can see this thing. If you hold down the middle mouse button, of course it works, but if you just hold down the left mouse button, then you can move that thing around. But you can't do that in the main screen, can you? Now if you click on one side of that cube, then it will show you the left hand side of the cube. If you click on one of those corners, you get an isometric view. You click on the front and you get a view of the front of the object that you've just created. And what I'll do is I'll go back towards an isometric view there. So the next thing is if you happen to get right out of sight, this happens occasionally, especially for new beginners. You might have nothing on the screen and say, hey, where's my model? So mouse over the view cube and you see that little icon of the little house near the view cube. Click on the little house and your model will come straight back home. And the same thing can happen. We can put that over there. Let's imagine that's out of sight. There's this little drop down next to the view cube and there's go home right there. It brings it home the same way. Alrighty, so this is how you can, this is the easiest way to get around in Fusion 360. The next thing is the view toolbar down the bottom here. At the bottom of the screen we've got 8 tools, and there's the orbit toolbar button, and that just means that you've got the orbit available with your left mouse button. That's great, but I don't think I've ever used that. I just go straight ahead and press down that middle scroll button and I've got the same thing. The next thing we've got is this little button on the view toolbar, and it's called Look At. If you see the tooltip there, click on that, and if you click on one side of your model, then it'll turn around and show you that model, so that face of the model, and it'll show you directly normal to the plane of view. So it's a little bit like this view cube, isn't it? So there's an isometric. Pick up the Look At tool and click on, say, the top, and there we have, we've got a perfect top-down view. So that's a nifty one. Again, I don't think I've ever used it. I don't ever use these ones down the bottom except some of them. But here's the zoom tool button, and that just means you hold down the left mouse button and push the mouse back and forth and it zooms smoothly. Nifty feature, but another one that I don't use. Here's a zoom window, and that means you can put a crossing over that corner of the model and it'll zoom up and fill the window. Another one I don't use. Let's have a look at this next thing here. Display settings. Okay, visual style, mesh display, environment, all sorts of things there. Now that's another one, but we'll come back to that another time. Let's avoid that for now. Then we've got the grid and snaps little button there, and this turns on the layout grid, makes it invisible, turns it back on. It's a toggle. And you can also have snap to grid. Please make sure that you've got snap to grid turned off. Sounds like a good idea, but it won't help you at this stage. In fact, that's something that you would use if you had a particular need. For now I'm going to leave the layout grid visible. Normally I prefer to have it turned off, and that's the way I much prefer to work, but let's just keep it the way that it looks like when people first turn on Fusion 360, and we'll go from here. The last one, number 11, is multiple views, and that divides the screen up into 4 separate views. This is something that is useful sometimes, but I've got to confess this is another one that I never really use. We've got to pop out of that one, single view, and looks like I'm out of sight here, so I'll just go back to the home icon there, and there we are, the view is restored. So there's 11 ways to navigate in Fusion 360. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. As I say, I'm about to start doing 16 models, which I'm going to show you how to do on the screen here, and that will get you going. If you follow along with me and do a little bit of practice doing the same thing a couple of times, then you will be able to make just about anything. You'll have confidence to make almost any engineering, a simple engineering component, a basic part using the basic tools in Fusion 360. So join me, subscribe, click the like button so you get the notification whenever one of these 16 videos is released, and follow along. Bye for now.